2023 Mazda CX-50 Turbo Premium Plus review. When a good vehicle has worked for an automotive manufacturer for many years, it's no surprise that they introduce a very similar variation of the same vehicle, bringing some additional capabilities to the table but retaining all the good things. Such has taken place for Mazda when it comes to their CX-5 compact crossover, bringing us the all-new CX-50. A stylish take on the segment but with a bit more style and off-roading capabilities. The new 2023 Mazda CX-50 embodies most of the principles of the CX-5, using the same drivetrains and retaining the sporty character that you expect out of the Mazda brand. The style of the new CX-50 is more mature in my view, with a slightly rugged edge when you consider its defined plastic finders, slightly increased ride height, and 20-inch wheels on upper trim levels such as found on my top-trimmed CX-50 Turbo Premium Plus test vehicle. There's even a Turbo Meridian trim with increased ground clearance, all-terrain 18-inch tires, exclusive hood graphics, and side rocker garnish to fit the mold of being the more off-roader of the many trim levels. The new style of the CX-50 builds upon the CX-5 but does it with more character that looks quite good with the adaptive front LED lighting and new quad LED tail lamps. There are even larger dual exhaust outlets out back to accentuate the upper trim levels that have the robust turbocharged 2.5-litre 4-cylinder SKYACT-IV engine. Performance and driving character. The new Mazda CX-50 is exclusively all-wheel drive with a front-wheel bias longitudinal engine setup for either of the two engine choices, with the base trim level having a naturally aspirated 2.5-litre 4-cylinder with 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. Moving to the turbocharged engine. The recommended powertrain. Several upper trim levels get a twin-scroll turbocharger setup in the 2.5-litre 4-cylinder, good for 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque when you use recommended premium fuel. Otherwise, you get 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque using regular unleaded. Power from the turbocharged engine comes on strong at the mid-range but tends to feel as if it is giving out near the redline. The ample torque is where the engine shines, and that narrow band of thrust may be deceptive at times if you wind out the engine at full throttle. The 6-speed automatic transmission does all it can to keep the engine in the relatively narrow sweet spot and quickly finds the proper gear needed. Acceleration comes on strong, and the 0-60 mph time at 7 seconds is decent enough. Driving the CX-50 is quite unique in its tight handling and heavy electric steering rack. At times the steering almost feels too heavy for this class of vehicle, but adds to the sporty theme that Mazda is known for. Ride quality is a bit on the stiff side but not overly jarring. The tighter suspension helps in the CX-50's sporty attitude and stability, where it remains mostly compliant over road bumps and imperfections, in addition to limiting body roll going into sharp turns and curves. Still, you'll want to test drive the CX-50 first, as it could be a bit rough for some but enjoyable to light-hearted enthusiasts, as it is an SUV that communicates the feel of the road more than others. Towing capacity increases with the turbocharged engine to 3.500 pounds, up from the 2.000 pound limit for the base engine trims. Fuel economy. Fuel consumption doesn't vary much, and you'll expect to get the EPA estimated numbers in the real world of 23 mpg city, 29 mpg highway, and 25 mpg combined. Some of the CX-50's competition is much better in this area but isn't nearly as quick as the CX-50 with the turbocharged engine. Interior and tech. Inside you'll find a cabin with a premium theme, much as you expect in modern Mazda vehicles. There's a neat play on the accented stitching that has an interesting cross-stitch pattern with many soft touch areas above the beltline. Reposted from source automotiveaddicts.com.